Hey, it's Benji Cole, son of Al Cole from CBS Radio and host of the syndicated talk show, People of Distinction. The talk that gives you an in-depth view of some of the most dynamic, intelligent, and successful people on the planet. Run to our website, alcoleenterprises.com for more info. Email me at benji@alcoleenterprises.com for info. Email me, we have going. And as always, please continue to like and follow our broadcast because People of Distinction is a nationally and internationally syndicated show because of listeners like you. Our shows are available across all major podcast distributors as well as YouTube. And if you keep following, we're going to continue to put out the content. We appreciate the support. Continue to like and follow and sit back and strap in because on the line with us today, we have the impressive Melisa Calcote. We're going to be discussing her amazing book, The Race is On. It's available for purchase through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all the regular online book resellers. You're going to want to head on over there and pick up copies of this amazing book. But get this, The Race is On is not the only book that Melisa has written. She has 7 other books already published and one still in creation that'll be available very shortly. I'm telling you, she is the truest embodiment of a person of distinction, and it is a delight to have her here with us. Before we go any further, I do want to quickly point out that Melisa was brought to our network, People of Distinction, today by one of the best advertising firms in the business, people you already know. I'm talking about Link Press and Media Publishing. So for my writers out there who have gone through their process creating their masterpiece and now you need help moving the book you just developed. If that's you, contact Link. They're one of the best in the business to do it, and this is exactly what they specialize in. So head on over to urlinkpublishing.com and gather all the ways that their fantastic team is going to help you do just that. And as I mentioned, people, it is an absolute delight to have Melisa here on the line. Her book, The Race is On, is a sequel to an earlier book called Unexpected Company. Now, The Race is On is going to be the anchor for today's interview, and it is a true delight. It is something that your children are going to just lavish in. They're going to love embarking upon the journey. Not only is it fun, not only is it entertaining, but it also carries a wonderful message underneath of family, of relying on that support system that we have around us. Whether you're a child, a teenager, an adult, doesn't really matter. We all have our support systems, and we need them. The old cliche is it takes a village to raise a child. As a parent myself, let me be the first to say it does. Absolutely. I mean, listen, you could do it yourself, but it makes it so much easier when you have that village around. Why does it only have to be pertaining to rearing children? Don't we need that same support system when we're going through some tough obstacles in our lives? This book is going to showcase the importance of it, but it's also going to do it in such a fun way that your children are going to learn without actually realizing they're doing so. Sit back and strap in. Melisa, first and foremost, welcome to People of Distinction, and thank you very much for being a guest. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, thank you.
As if this hasn't already been mentioned, you're doing something right, okay? You're onto something special here, and it is a delight to have you with us. Before we go into the book, start off by telling our listening audience a little bit more about yourself and your background.
I was raised started out in Brookhaven, Mississippi, and when I was at a younger age, we moved to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and enjoyed growing up in the country because you learn so many things, like raising a garden and things like that. And now I live in Denham Springs, Louisiana, not far from Baton Rouge. I've been living here now for 10 years.
Well, Melisa, let me be the first to mention, I wasn't raised in the country. I wasn't raised on a farm, but I know a thing or two about gardening because my mom would always find opportunities to build a garden around us, right? I mean, whenever we had a little spot there in the backyard, summer days, myself, my brothers, we were out there planting seeds and growing our vegetables in the garden, which as a child, I always hated to do. But now as an adult, I'm like, man, that was the best and probably the most fresh food I have ever tasted. It's something that now I wish I could actually have my own garden. But, here in Los Angeles, doesn't give you much greenery to be able to do so. So we'll leave that for another discussion. Melisa, again, welcome to People of Distinction. Let's jump right into your book now. The Race is On. Tell us a little bit more about this fantastic narrative.
Okay. The couple, Jenny and David, had been married for about 3 years, and later in this story, her stepbrother, really her cousin, he has a horse called Fireball, and he's already started training for the races. And now you'll find some interesting characters in this story because there's a spirit that starts hanging around the horse, and Charlie sees it. And then, when Jeremy sees it and goes, but Jeremy noticed it talking to the horse of all things. I'm going, what? You really made me write that? Yeah, go write it. So he, just finally able to get and talk to the spirit. And there's more in there too because there's an angel looking over Jenny.
Yeah.
And it's, really enlightening and funny. And you want to laugh out loud sometimes. And they worked together to find out who in the world the spirit was. They had to go to the library to, look through archives records, and they eventually found out who he's, he's someone who's part of the family. And a couple of the people in their family were jockeys who had their own horses. And so later, Jeremy figures out he's the one who's supposed to be the next jockey for the horse, Fireball. And he starts talking to the horse. What happens is, he starts responding. And he goes, whoa, wait a minute. Took him way off guard. You'll find some funny situations in the story, and it has a good storyline, and you'll enjoy it.
Yeah. I'm enjoying it already. People, again, the book is called The Race is On by Melisa Calcote. Head on over to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and pick up your copies today. Follow-up question that I'd love to go into, Melisa. Talk to us about inspiration. I'm really curious about the origin story behind this narrative.
Of course, this is a sequel to Unexpected Company. And I wrote these two books about a little over 8 years ago. And those were the two of the storybooks that I wrote at that time. The first two before that were poetry books I had written over the years. So I enjoy writing. I see it as a, exciting thing to do and a calming thing to do because when I was writing all these two books for the stories, I can see that unfold in my mind and just keep writing.
I'm curious, Melisa, as we start to transition here, I do want to leave some extra time to make sure that we go into another one of your narratives as well. But as we close out of this one, The Race is On. What are you hoping to see your readers take from your book?
I am hoping that readers will get out of this story how families can stick together in helping each other in every situation through life. And even if, people have friends that are family to them, those kind of connections are just as important. Like even your family at church. Those are just as important because your work is the final thing that you're working towards. And I think it's important for everybody to have someone to talk to.
Yeah. No, listen, absolutely.
Because friends can last forever if you let them and work on your relationships. Family is with you for life, and friends can be too.
Absolutely. Listen, I love the message there. And like I said in my opening, that family dynamic, or in other words, because I also understand that, I thankfully, I was very blessed and very fortunate to come from a very caring and loving family that was always very supportive of me growing up and supportive of each other. But I also understand that not everybody has that same type of family dichotomy. So
That's right. And that's why I said friends also.
exactly,
Because
yes.
you and I both have our own group of friends that we always go to for advice, fun, and recreational things to do together. And that's where you grow your bond
Mm-hmm.
in everything.
Yeah. You know,
And my father and I, my family is originally a fishing family. We enjoy going fishing because we went to several different places to go fishing, and my brother now has a camp down south in Louisiana, and one of the places he always enjoys going because it's a relaxing time,
mm-hmm.
and it kind of pulls you toward Mother Nature, which is important for everybody, however they do it.
Yeah. Absolutely. And again, I think that's where the power of your book lies, is really understanding whether it's that family support system or friends or other loved ones around you. The main message here is having your support system in whatever way that
Hmm.
manifests itself to you. And I think we've already started to go into this, but I do want to make sure that we go in a little further, right? And really double down on it. But from a writing perspective, sticking with that concept of the family dynamic or support system and being reliant on it. Well, Melisa, how did you approach conveying these complex themes like family dynamics and reliance on others in a way that is accessible and engaging for young readers?
Well, when I started working on the books, I just started writing, and it just unfolded as I went.
Mm-hmm.
And because of my beliefs and how I was raised, I tend to write in the same complex of every book I write.
Yeah.
And I like to make sure I portray the same belief in my system that hopefully others will pick up the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, yeah, I think I could do that too. We got to work together as a family or friends or, whoever you are connected to. In life, everything is a group of family.
Right.
You have a church family. You have your real family. You have all your friends. That's another family. You have 3 support systems right there.
Mm-hmm.
And life is important to have that because it portrays you. You see you and others.
Mm. I'm telling you, people, this is fantastic stuff. But also, like I mentioned, this is not the only book that she has written. Yeah, there's 7 others and one still on the way. Well, as we close out of here, Melisa, please, dealer's choice here, because no one knows your books as well as you do. Choose another one of your titles and give us a brief synopsis about what to expect when we pick it up.
The Angels Unaware goes further out into the world. There's a captain that has a tuna boat, and it goes around all the situations that they go through and out there fishing and, on the West Coast or the East Coast, and, they go through all the situations they could come across. And yes, there's an angel in that one too. And it also bonds around family, looking out for family, friends looking out for friends, leaning on each other. And yes, I tend to do that. That's just me. I might write something totally different on my next book. I don't know.
Well, listen, we're looking forward to all of this. People, once again, it's Amazon, it's Barnes & Noble. This particular anchor was called The Race Is On by Melisa Calcote. Like I said, 7 other ones already published, so you have more than enough to keep you occupied. But check back in frequently because there's another one on the horizon as well. This is something you want to get lost in. This is something your children are going to thank you for, and you as parents are also going to be enlightening them while at the same time having a very fun journey to keep them occupied and entertained. Melisa, this has been an absolute pleasure, a true honor. Thank you once again for being a guest on People of Distinction.
I appreciate it. Thank you.